Hello viewers, I'm Sadia Khan and you are watching YouTube channel Learn with Sadia. Firstly, I would like to convey my heartfelt thanks to all the people who subscribe to my channel. And if you are new to my channel, immediately please subscribe my channel and do not forget to share, comment and like my video. Thank you. So in this video, we will discuss the usage of microorganisms in sewage treatment. Previously, we discussed usage of microorganisms in household and as well as in production of industrial products. Here we will see what is sewage and how is it treated and what is the role played by microorganisms. Here, sewage is nothing but the waste water which is generated from various sources like human excreta, which is from domestic resource, then we have industrial waste, then we have agricultural waste. In this way, once the water is used, we cannot let that water into rivers or into any purified water. So first we have to treat that sewage so that more toxic substances get converted to less toxic substances, and after that we can let that water move into the rivers or any stream of water. Sewage generally contains approximately 95.5% of water, and it contains 0.1 to 0.5% organic and inorganic material. Other than these things, sewage also contains different kinds of microorganisms, which includes aerobes, anaerobes, facultative anaerobes. And you can see all these three kind of microorganisms, they are heterotrophs. So what they are doing, they decompose organic matter of sewage. So this is the actual role played by microorganisms in sewage treatment. So these microorganisms, they are decomposing the organic matter. They are decomposing the organic matter of sewage and making the sewage less toxic. So this is the definition, and these are the ingredients or the things which are usually present inside the sewage. Now we will see how do we treat sewage. How do we convert this sewage to a better water? Here, this sewage is usually treated in sewage treatment plants before it is discharged into water bodies to reduce the pollution load. Sewage is nothing but polluted water. We have to make this polluted water to less polluted form. So in order to decrease its pollution content, we are supposed to pass this sewage through sewage treatment plants so that we can make the water better and send it to water bodies. Here you can see sewage treatment involves 3 steps: primary, secondary and tertiary. So primary is the basic one. Primary is also called as a biological or physical process, and this primary step or very first step of sewage treatment, it involves 2 sub-steps: filtration and sedimentation. All the particles which are floating on the surface, they are removed by filtration, and after that we are adding few chemicals like aluminium sulfates and aluminium oxides. These sulfates and oxides of aluminium, they react with other compounds and generate high molecular weight substances. When molecular weight of a substance increases, so it will definitely move to the bottom and settle down. That is nothing but sedimentation. Here in sewage treatment, the very first step is primary treatment or abiological treatment, which is also called as physical treatment. So it is involving 2 sub-steps: filtration and sedimentation. Then after this procedure, total effluent is then sent to secondary step or secondary treatment. This secondary treatment, it is also called as biological treatment. Why is it so? It is because this happens in the presence of oxygen. We circulate so much of air, we pass so much of oxygen into it. That is the reason why secondary is also referred to as biological, or it is also referred to as microbial degradation. Okay, after the secondary treatment, all the effluents which are remaining, which are obtained on the surface, they are passed to the tertiary structure, and after that the water is then sent to water bodies. So how the primary step takes place, how the secondary treatment takes place, this is the overall summary. We will come back to it. Now we will see a step-by-step procedure of primary treatment and secondary treatment. So this procedure is actually a very simple procedure, very easy to remember. Here we will go step by step. Moving to the primary treatment, it is a physical process of removal of small and large particles. Here we majorly concentrate on the solids which are floating. Okay. Here it is a physical process, first initiated with filtration, then it ends with sedimentation. In filtration, usually what is removed? Floating debris. So floating debris is removed, all the floating particles are removed. And in sedimentation, what is removed in sedimentation? Grit. Here grit means any sort of XYZ solid particles, like it will include soil particles, it will include small pebbles, soft stones. So all these things, they come under grit. So floating debris which is having very little weight, they will be floating, and all the floating debris separated in first step called as filtration, and the particles with little more weight, they get sedimented and they are together called as grit. So after this, sewage is sent to this primary settling, and again after the settling procedure, two things are obtained. Solid materials, they sediment, they remain, they settle down at the bottom, and the liquid or the water containing some more pollutants in it will be floating on the surface. So these solid materials which are obtained after the primary treatment, it is called as primary sludge. Okay. So all the solid materials which are obtained after the primary treatment, they are called as primary sludge. This term is to be memorized. Okay. Now we will move to secondary treatment. Before we begin the procedure of secondary treatment, we are supposed to have clarity of two basic terms particularly. The first one is BOD and then we have COD. BOD is of very good importance for examination purpose. BOD means biological oxygen demand. I'll tell you in my simple words. See here, in this sewage, there are so many microorganisms. Okay, but the oxygen required for these microorganisms is not sufficiently available. When something is not sufficiently available, then demand for it increases. Okay, here more oxygen is required because there are several microorganisms, but there is no proper supply of oxygen, or there is no sufficient quantity of soluble oxygen in it. So biological oxygen demand is nothing but amount of oxygen required by an organism in water under certain conditions. Now coming to this chemical oxygen demand, it measures all oxygen consuming pollutant material present in the water. Here chemical oxygen demand is nothing but it is a measure of all the pollutants which are demanding oxygen or which are consuming oxygen. These aerobic microbes, as I initially told you, they oxidize organic material, okay? And when they oxidize organic material, during that particular process, all the dissolved oxygen is consumed because they are aerobic microbes. They do the process in the presence of oxygen. So all the oxygen which is dissolved in that sewage, it is totally consumed. That is the reason why biological oxygen demand increases in sewage. Here, after performing the secondary treatment, many pathogens and about 90 to 95% of biological oxygen demand is removed. Let us see how. So all the effluents which are obtained after the primary treatment, they are sent to agitation tanks, and in that tanks they are constantly agitated. They are constantly rotated, okay, and air is pumped continuously. See here, initially total oxygen is consumed. Now we have to decrease the biological oxygen demand. This biological oxygen demand can be decreased by continuous supply of oxygen, and that thing we are doing in secondary treatment. So all the effluent which is obtained from primary treatment, it is sent to agitation tanks, and we are constantly agitating that effluent and we are continuously pumping the air. So what will it lead to? It will lead to rapid growth of aerobic microbes. Why the growth of the microorganisms increases? Because there is continuous supply of oxygen, growth of microorganisms continuously increases. So these microorganisms, they form structures called as flocs, FLOCS, flocs. Here you can see the structure of flocs. Flocs are nothing but it is a sort of association between fungi and bacteria. Fungi usually have these hyphae or filamentous structures, and these bacteria settle down on those particular filaments of fungus and they sediment. See, when so many fungi and bacteria come together, they form one association or mesh kind of structure. So their molecular weight rapidly increases and they start getting settled at the bottom. Now these flocs, they consume organic matter, and they are consuming organic matter and continuously we are pumping air in it. So ultimate result is there is reduction in biological oxygen demand. When there is proper supply, definitely demand decreases. Okay, likewise in the primary treatment, where we have sent the effluent to settling tank, even in the secondary treatment, we will send this effluent to settling tank. Here in the settling tank, two things are separated. One is effluent again. In the settling tank, at the bottom, flocs get sedimented. As I told you, flocs are nothing but fungi and algae association. They get settled at the bottom of the tank. Okay, so and the topmost supernatant or effluent, it is again sent to tertiary treatment. After tertiary treatment, the water is sent into the water bodies. So what will happen to this floc sediment? So this floc sediment, as it is obtained in the secondary treatment, it is called as secondary sludge or activated sludge. Okay, the sludge which was formed in primary treatment, it was called as primary sludge. The sludge which is formed in the secondary treatment, it is called as secondary sludge, or it is also called as activated sludge. So a small portion of that sludge is again sent back to aeration tank as inoculum. See, you know what is inoculum. So very small portion is used as inoculum, sent back to initiate the same procedure, and remaining the major portion of the sludge is pumped into anaerobic sludge digester. This is again one more tank there. So this secondary sludge major portion, it is sent to anaerobic sludge digesters, wherein the anaerobic bacteria will digest bacteria and fungi. This particular bacteria is digesting other bacteria and fungi to produce several chemicals like hydrogen sulfide gas, carbon dioxide, moisture, etc. Okay. We will see the overview of this procedure. Here you can see primary treatment. Here we have raw sewage which is not treated at all. Then it undergoes primary treatment, first filtration and then sedimentation. Then it is sent to primary settling. In primary settling, sludge is separated and effluent is separated. Along with sludge, grit is formed. So these two things, they are sent for compost land filling, and this effluent which is obtained from primary treatment, it is sent to secondary treatment. In secondary treatment, first step is aeration tank, then again similarly, like you can see primary settling, here we have secondary settling. After secondary settling, we have activated sludge which is sent to anaerobic sludge digester. Then it will generate so many things like biogas, manure, like it is used for burning, used for land filling purpose. Now this, after secondary settling, we get water. It is usually sent to river, or it can be sent to tertiary treatment also. Tertiary treatment is not always must, but it is optional depending upon how much pollutants are present in the water. So with that, we are done with the sewage treatment. We have two more additional important points which we are supposed to memorize. Here the first one is Ministry of Environment and Forest. They have initiated two plans. The first one is the Ganga Action Plan. The next one is the Yamuna Action Plan. These are the works of the government to save rivers from pollution. So you have to remember these two terms and their purpose of doing this. Then we have one more term called as bioremediation. Here the term remedy, it means a solution to a problem. Because we are studying about biology, here the biological term for remedy is treatment. If something goes wrong, how do we treat it? Bioremediation. We are making the remedy, or we are solving the problem using using life. Using microorganisms, we are solving a problem. That means bioremediation. Now we will see it in detail. Removal of toxic waste from land, chemical and oil spills accidentally released into environment by using microbes is bioremediation. See, during various procedures, like if at all we are transporting oil from one country to another country, it is done by shipping, and usually there will be leakage of oil and oil spills on the water, or there will be some leakage of harmful gas from any industry, so ultimately leading to the air pollution. So all these things are disturbing the environment, but we want to stop this disturbance. We can do it by removing these toxic substances from the environment. How can we do it? We are doing it using microorganisms, and this process of using microorganisms for removing the toxic waste from the environment is nothing but bioremediation. Thank you.